tour that you have to check out. It's an extremely immersive experience. It's a trolley trip that starts out at a haunted mansion, traveling around Minneapolis locations, exposing ghost stories that the public and business owners would rather left untold. Then a tour of the aforementioned haunted mansion where ghosts of past residents from the 1800s reside, plus a lot of surprises to discover. Next, experience Gertrude's After Hours. Did I mention Gertrude is the mansion's most famous ghost? Maybe she'll show up. And you finish up the tour at Gertrude's Lounge in the haunted basement of the mansion with refreshments and Q&A. The trolleys are climate controlled and the mansion is restored to perfection. Check out MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com for more information.
This is your Magus Books magical moment with Liz. Do you remember the gift of frankincense? Frankincense is a resin from a tree that grows in the Middle East and Northern Africa. It has been used to raise our voices to the gods for millennia. Use frankincense to raise your experience, your energies to a higher level with frankincense stick incense or essential oil. Easy to use, delightful to smell. Check out frankincense today. Find Magus Books and Herbs at 1848 Central Avenue Northeast in Minneapolis and at magusbooks.com.
With your AM 950 weather, I'm Brett Johnson. Look for partly cloudy skies tonight with a low around 62, Thursday sunny with a high near 86, and Friday sunny with a high around 85. Experience a delicious dinner out at Nightingale. Indulge in the Nightingale burger, roasted duck breast, and more exciting dishes like the roasted broccoli bruschetta and smoked chicken liver plate. Takeout orders available at your convenience, and Nightingale is open daily 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. with their full menu until midnight, or at nightingalempls.com.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
The views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host, guest, random reptoid, or chupacabra may not necessarily reflect those of AM 950 Radio, its affiliates, or its sponsors. Now, it's time to step into the unknown. There are things people experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in the corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us. Share your story, share your experience, because this isn't just your story. This is our story. This is GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun.
And this is GhostBox Radio on AM 950, where every night we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. My name is Greg Bakun. Thank you very much for joining us on this warm Wednesday evening. And I hope that everyone has been having a good week. Before we get too far into things, I just wanted to say hello to Adam over in Eden Prairie. Adam, as you can see, I've upgraded my studio for tonight.
I would say you have one heck of an upgrade going on there. I mean, this is much nicer than your normal studio. So who did you hijack to get that new studio from, by the way?
So here we are tonight. We are live from 300 Clifton, beautiful mansion in downtown Minneapolis. This is a fantastic bed and breakfast, and it is also the home of the Minneapolis Trolley Tours. And we're going to be talking about, we got to talk about a lot of things tonight. And I have with me, I have Jon and I have Norman, who own this mansion. And so first off, I want to say welcome to both of you. It's so cool. Thank you for letting us into your house tonight.
Oh my gosh. Thanks for having us, Greg and Adam.
Yeah. I mean, this is really cool. Now, I always find myself kind of trouble here, because when I love a place so much, I can just gush, and I don't know if I always make the most sense. So you're going to have to help me out tonight when I start talking about stuff in vague terms, because this place, this mansion, is so beautiful. It is also haunted, which
makes it more beautiful.
It is then apart from that, I mean, in saying that this is a mansion, I don't think does it justice, because with on this property, you have the house, you have the carriage house, you have these beautiful grounds, you have all of this wonderful area. And when I was walking in tonight to do the show, I just stopped and looked over to where your fountain is and stuff. And I thought, and it was like sunset.
Yeah.
Like, how on earth do you all just not just want to eat this up all the time? It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it's It's stunning. These old houses, every bit of it, they used to put a whole lot of craftsmanship into it from the gardens on up. And so that's what you feel. I feel like an old house talks to you in different ways, not only just in the paranormal, but just something viscerally.
I mean, we're going to get more into all this, but this house was accurately restored by the two of you. Was this like this ability to, and this is coming from someone who could barely hammer a nail into a wall. So this is why I'm just in awe to do all of this. Has this been with you your whole lives, to be able to be pretty handy and be able to do? I mean, I'm sure there's stuff that you didn't do, maybe, or did you all do every bit of it?
I did not do a lot of it in my life at all. I've learned a lot recently, but no, Jon has way more experience with the carpentry and more hands-on type stuff.
And so you both were like, let's just rebuild a mansion.
So it was in really rough shape. The windows were busted out. There was homeless people living in it. It was slated to be torn down. And the neighborhood actually raised $60,000 and put a new roof on the house. And when they did that, it put the kibosh on the idea that the bank had to be able to tear the building down. So we were able to get the building for cheap, but it needed a lot of work. It was not a house that had been lived in as a residence for 70 years. So for 30 years, it was a boarding house. We're sitting in a bathroom in the boarding house now. They had put a bathroom here. But then for 40 years after that, it was offices. And so offices, they painted this room white. They put in fluorescent lighting. And so what we've done, and this is part of our connection to the past, is we've invited back to the house everybody that's ever owned the house, everybody that's ever worked on the house as a construction worker that we can find, everybody that's ever lived in the house when it was a rooming house, everybody that's worked at the house when it was offices. And they've brought back wonderful stuff, whether it's original furniture, the chair that's kitty corner to the left behind you was the guy behind us original chair. Like he sat in that chair every day. That's crazy. Like that's kind of just right behind. I'm pointing at the screen, but it's like literally right off of your shoulder.
Right.
That's crazy that he was, but like when he was younger than us, he was sitting in that chair.
And when you got the house, you didn't have the chair.
Oh no, we had to hunt it. We had to hunt
Wow.
it down. So we've traveled around the country and talked to family members and been able to trace this stuff down and say, hey, let's bring it back to this house. We're restoring this house. Brought the house back to its original floor plan so you can feel what it's like. And I think that that's what kicked off the paranormal in here is that they feel like they're back at home again. And so we've turned it into a bed and breakfast now. And lots of our guests have experience. And then we do ghost tours through here. And we've had experiences even through those ghost tours.
It's unbelievable. And folks, I can't say enough about how you're seeing one wall of an amazing, I mean, I'm looking with beautiful accent lights that just make this very warm and comforting place. You know, it's like just so beautiful.
But when could they have an opportunity to see it?
Well, that's funny because Kara asked the question. She's just like, do they allow overnight investigations or a few hour investigation?
Oh boy.
So we can talk about this a little
Sure.
bit. You know, we're still kind of ironing a couple things out, but
Maybe give them a teaser.
we're doing an event September 30th.
There it is. We broke the ice.
We're doing an event September 30th at this house.
Yep.
You're going to allow us into places that you don't normally allow people in.
Because they're kind of creepy.
And that's,
I mean, guests that come here want to see the pretty rooms. We're going to be going into the bowels of the house.
Right. And it's going to be a couple things going to happen here. We're going to be, for those who haven't done it before, we're going to have kind of a paranormal investigation 101, not super long. We're just going to be able to show how some of the equipment works, see if we have some extra stuff to allow people to use during the investigations and stuff. And then we're still planning trolley, right?
Yep.
So, because another big part of all of this are the Minneapolis Trolley Tours.
Yep.
And the candlelight ghost tours.
Yep.
which I have done. I've talked about many times on here, but it's going to be a special one.
Yep. We've gotten permission to go into one of the buildings.
Wow.
And so we're going to do another paranormal investigation in that building.
This is I'm sorry.
So this building is really incredible because a janitor had committed suicide in there and is said to have haunt the building. Lots of people have had experiences with him. But when that janitor passed away, they never used that room again. They never used it for anything. So some of his original stuff is in there. And so it's really cool to go down. And we've never done an investigation down there. We've never had, permission to go in there before. And so it's down in the basement. It's where they used to put janitors back in the day. It's not a living space by today's standards. But wow, it's going to be really cool. I can't wait to see.
I can't either. And we're going to try to get some extra equipment to kind of share around, because this isn't, as we talked about, this isn't about because my friend Shar is taking part in this as well. I do all of my investigations and stuff with Shar, and this isn't about us investigating and you all watching. It's about you coming out here and you experiencing this house, you coming out on this beautiful trolley that, God, I mean, everything that you all are working on is just so beautiful and so nice. That taking this wonderful tour and stopping at this location and allowing the people who specifically for this tour on September 30th to be able to investigate a place that you all stop, you drive by, but you never stop at.
Yep.
God, I know I want to go. Sign me up.
Well, we only have a few spots because we're only taking one trolley full of people. And we want to keep the impact light on the house here.
Yep.
So it's going to be sign up early.
How is a link up now?
There is a link up right now. Norman, can you tell them about how they could get onto that?
They can go right to 300clifton.com
300
and in the menu bar right underneath is a link to the event. You can read about it and see our different ticket packages.
What does the link say? What is it labeled as?
I believe it says GhostBox Radio and Minneapolis Paranormal Investigation,
cool.
Link to the event and tickets. And then you can click that and then full description. And then you just pick the day, which is September 30th, and then your 2 ticket types.
And Carrie, you're thinking of the wrong tour. This is all these, the Minneapolis, Trolley Tour goes through a bunch of wonderful locations in downtown Minneapolis, and Jon and Norman have a lot of great stories about these locations, and we're not going to get to them tonight because that's what the tour. That's what
you got to go on the tour. It's way better when you go on the tour. You got to see the place. You got to be the place. Sometimes we get off of the trolley and feel these areas haunted bridges and towers and houses and apartment buildings. Oh, it's really incredible tour.
It is. I mean,
mansions.
I'm getting the right feel. The right feels. It's like, this is feeling good. Cool. This is this is really cool. And I see that Jenny Davis says the lights just flickered, and we're just going to be honest. They've been flickering the whole night, all the lights. As soon as we started really talking about the spirits here, it started to, we got some mild activity going on here. Okay, you don't have to say anything.
No,
that's totally fun. No,
well,
that's good.
I was going to mention, if they're looking at the lights behind us, I was going to mention this doll behind us, and I was going to tell the backstory on that doll. So we were sitting here and thinking just about some of the paranormal activity. This is a bed and breakfast. One day, this doll showed up at the bed and breakfast. We thought somebody had left it here.
You had no idea where it came from.
No, we'd have no idea. We called a couple of people. It wasn't even in a bed and breakfast room.
Her?
Yeah, of course. And the odd thing about the doll is that it will just randomly move around the house. We don't know if guests are moving it around, just putting it in a different room. But sometimes a guest will oh, wow. Yeah.
Anyway.
A guest in the morning will say, hey, this doll was in our bedroom and the door was locked. We, it wasn't in the bedroom when we went to bed that night. So
you got the lazy eyes.
Yeah. So tonight I was looking for the doll. I said, you know what? Maybe we can find the doll. I don't know where it is in the house. I looked all over. I came through here twice. I looked around the whole house. Then I went down into the basement. I walked by the boiler room and I had that sinking feeling in my stomach. And I knew it was in the boiler room. I opened up the boiler room doors. Never been in the boiler room before.
Really?
Opened up the boiler room door. And I thought that we might be broadcasting from the boiler room. So I don't know if it thought through me that we were broadcasting from the boiler room. There it was right in the boiler room.
But you could feel it.
I literally, like, you have that, and you have that sinking feeling like, oh, I just forgot something. Like, and I knew it was right on the other side of that door. I just knew it. I opened up the door and there it was, sitting, waiting to be on the show.
and here she is. Does she have a name?
We haven't ever named it. He just wanders around the house.
All right.
Like a lot of the other souls that can't flow through here.
You always have to treat them with respect.
I totally agree.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
You just want to make sure that they are. And Mandy says, "Geez, Greg, you're brave for holding it." Well, there isn't anything negative from this at all, and I like it. John's like, oh, I could feel nothing negative to it.
Okay, good.
I mean, apart from this sensation to kill. No, I'm just kidding. Norman's like, why is he here doing this show? So yeah, no, this is really cool, and it seems to be like wanting to be a part of it.
That's what I thought when I got that sinking feeling. I knew it was behind that door, and I had thought that maybe we were gonna broadcast from down there. That's where we get a lot of paranormal activity, and so I don't know if it thought through me that's what. But
I love it.
Yeah,
God,
it told me it was there.
This is so cool. Now, I also want to quickly say we have a lot of stuff to talk about. So if anyone has any questions about what we're talking about, the house, the tours, their experience with everything, put it into the comments. Also, you can call us 952-946-6205. That's 952-946-6205. And Brandy, and we're going to hit the break here a little bit, but Brandy asked the question, do you know how old the doll may be? And
it looks vintage, but it doesn't look antique.
Yeah. I don't know.
It could be from the 40s or 50s.
And do you think it might have had like a hat or something that?
Oh yeah, something over that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It is interesting, isn't it? And now Jenny is somebody who, when she knows there's a haunted location, she's going to track you down for life to try to get in and investigate.
Of course.
But she asked the question, can people investigate this house, or do we have to rent all the rooms? Just from hearing about it, I want to investigate. Well, we have that. That's why we're having the event.
So we have that on the 30th, and that is really a primer for what's coming after that.
Can we even tease that?
Why not? It's so incredible.
We are doing on October 31st. We're doing thank you. It's also known as Halloween, and we're doing a live broadcast from here, a 3-hour, just like we did last year. We're doing a 3-hour broadcast from here, and part of it will be a radio show, but it's also going to be an investigation.
Oh my gosh!
And we're once again going to be selling tickets. We need to iron a couple more things out, but we're going to be selling tickets that people then can take part in the broadcast as well.
It's going to be a live investigation. It's going to be so incredible. I'm really excited about that.
And thank you both so much for allowing us in and being a part of it all. Why don't we go ahead and do this? Let's take our first break. Folks, if you have questions, we love them. Otherwise, we're going to just keep talking about this beautiful house, some of the stories, everything else. We have a lot to get to tonight. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950.
Reach your highest level of consciousness and well-being with metamorphosisconnections.com. Metamorphosisconnections.com is an online directory of the best holistic and metaphysical practitioners to help you make your most informed choices. You can search metamorphosisconnections.com for classes, events, wellness and life coaches, plus metaphysical products and shops. You can also search for a wide array of healers from all modalities, including EFT, sound healing, energy healing, light therapy, ancestral healing, shamanic healing, reflexology, past life regressions, hypnotherapy, yoga, and more. And if you're not sure where to start, the search feature on metamorphosisconnections.com is tailored to help both those who know what they are looking for and those who are just starting. Come explore the possibilities for your higher self by visiting metamorphosisconnections.com. Their experienced practitioners can guide both beginners and those that are already on their spiritual journey. That's metamorphosisconnection.com, your link to direct you on your spiritual transformation.
Greg Bakun here. I've told you about the out-of-the-world roast beef sandwiches at Maverick's Real Roast Beef, but I haven't told you about their Philly steak sandwiches, turkey, bacon, avocado sandwich, BLT, crispy chicken, fish sandwiches, brisket, or pulled pork. Okay, you get the idea. They make a lot of delicious food to the same standard as their famous roast beef sandwiches, and now I'm starving. I'm going to go to Maverick's Real Roast Beef off Lexington and Roseville, and you need to go too. Check out their menu at mavericksbeef.com. Greg Bakun here. Like many of you, I still collect physical books, and not just any books, but books about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, and so much more. I go to Megas Books and Herbs, located in the Arts District of Minneapolis, but books are only part of it. Megas Books and Herbs offers crystals, jewelry, herbs, oils, and consultations on how to use this stuff. Check out their in-store classes and events too. This place has everything to expand your horizons. Located at 1848 Central Avenue, Minneapolis, or visit megasbooks.com. Have you ever met someone who not only can help you on a deep spiritual level, but also potentially change your life? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who travels the nation and lives right here in the Midwest. And she offers mediumship, mentorship, house and business parties, energy healing, palm readings, and so much more. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
Hi, this is Psychic Medium Deb. I cannot wait to hear from you. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
And welcome back to GhostBox Radio on AM 950. My name is Greg Bakun, and we are live tonight from the 300 Clifton Mansion in downtown Minneapolis, and also the home of the Minneapolis Trolley Tours. And I have with me tonight Jon and Norman, who own all of this, who are making these amazing trolley tours available. This house is a B&B. There's a lot here. We got some questions in the comments that are really good, just very good questions that I think we need to ask. And a couple of them, first of all, let me get to some of these here. First of all, Linda wants to know, how old is the house? And who is the folks that lived there in the past? We're looking at one right now. Ooh.
Oh, that was crazy.
When I said we're looking at one, the lights just...
Eugene Carpenter for sure talks through those lights. That particular light. So the house was built in 1887, and it was built as a Victorian style house. The significance of that is that a Victorian style house is relatively convoluted. They renovated it 20 years later, and they made it a Georgian style house, which is perfectly square. Well, what that created was all kinds of crazy little rooms and passageways down in the basement, because it's got two basement walls, the convoluted basement wall that the original Victorian house was, and then squared off on the outside of that is the Georgian style house. So there's windows that don't go anywhere, doors that don't go anywhere, windows that go to little secret passageways. It's really incredible down in the basement of this house. The house is now a Georgian style house, which is rather symmetrical. It is 20,000 square feet, but most of that area is behind the scenes, meaning it's the servants' areas of the house. They had 13 servants that were working in this house originally. So the tours that we do of this house not only show these formal rooms, like one of the rooms that we're sitting in now, but we get to go down through secret passageways, through secret doors, back to the servants' ends of the house. It's really kind of cool.
That is very cool. And there's a couple of things that I remember vaguely. First of all, Eugene, which I just love the fact that I didn't realize that that's his chair back there. That is really cool. And also, and I forget, if I'm not mistaken, there was a lady of the house.
Yep. Her name's Marette, and she's over the other fireplace. Okay. So we have two portraits. That's an original painting of her done by William Paxton, a famous portrait artist. But the picture behind us is a photograph of Eugene Carpenter. And he died 1 month after that picture was taken. So that's how old he was when he passed away, 53.
Wow. But Marette then, she was the one, if I'm not mistaken, that she didn't have electricity in the house, right?
She didn't want a chandelier over the dining room table. She said electricity was too glaring. He wired the whole house with electricity, so these wires that we're using are his wires. Like, that's the original wiring in the house that's going up to these wires. So he can still talk through those wires. But she didn't want a big chandelier over the dining room table, so she ate by candlelight every night, which is why if you've seen in the dining room, huge sconce chandelier, like on the dining room table with candles.
And she did that like into the 40s, didn't she?
Yeah, in the late 40s into the 50s.
Wow.
She was eating by candlelight.
It's incredible.
Served by uniformed servants, right?
That to imagine that up until the 50s, that way of servantry existed in a private household.
I mean, like Leave It to Beaver was on TV, and she was sitting at a dining room table, mashing a secret button underneath the dining room table to call from the back of the house through these secret passageways to call these ladies with the next course of food, or maybe her newspaper or a cup of tea.
God, I love that history.
Yeah, it's visceral here because the house is back to its original floor plan. So you can go through these passageways and you can see how the house actually worked. The house breathes. It's a living being. It really feels like it.
And as I said before, it's so comfortable in here.
Yeah,
it's just so
for
nice.
A grand mansion. There's some rooms that are really intimidating and big and supposed to be ostentatious, and then there's rooms like this which feel like much more comfortable,
very cozy, and very like a study sort of feel to it. Whereas and maybe I'm saying it wrong, but like going across the hall, there's more grandeur to it. There, like the ceilings have a much more delicate sort of paintwork to it, and
Norman decorated that entire room. He can maybe tell you why it is called what it's called and how it was used.
So the room across the hall is called the drawing room, and it was because ladies after dinner would withdraw to a drawing room, while the men would come over here to a smoking room.
To talk about important business of the day and stuff.
So back then, like these houses, they only had one daughter here, and then upstairs they had all the maids that lived upstairs in the mansion. Then the carriage house had all the guy servants out there who were able to have girlfriends and marry.
Okay.
So the whole first floor was made to entertain, and back then it was dinner parties. And then afterwards you had to go to one room for the men, one for the women, and then later on it became much more together.
Wow.
But
it's like me being a big British television fan, I think of like a series like Upstairs, Downstairs or something like that. And it's like to think that this happened.
So that in that show, that was a little bit earlier in Upstairs, Downstairs.
Right.
So when this house was built as a Victorian house, all the servants lived in the basement, just like Upstairs, Downstairs.
Right.
And those servant rooms in the basement have no windows in them, and they have a lock on the outside of the door. So when they would go to bed at night, they would be locked in their rooms at night. They couldn't get out.
Wow.
Yeah, different time.
It's really a different time. Linda asked the question, are the rooms all connected to each other, or do they connect via hallways?
Oh, so that's a great question. So they wouldn't call them hallways. They would call them halls because it is actually a physical room of the house. Like it was a meeting room. It was a writing room. Like there was furniture in the halls. So the halls were significant rooms. But her question is right on because the servants would never come out into those halls. Those were very formal areas. Yeah. So there's secret passageways that connect behind all of the rooms and then doors that connect. So the rooms are all connected to one another through these passageways so that the servants would never come out into the hall. They would go, if they were servicing these rooms and taking care of these rooms, they would be going through the backs of closets and then down these little passageways to connect the rooms.
Would this place have a butler, though, that would answer the door, or was it not as formal as that?
It was very formal, but no men were allowed in this house. Moret would not allow any men servant in here. So they had a parlor waitress maid would be the serving maid. And then they had a parlor maid, which would answer the door. So the door would be answered by a woman. And so it put women into a really important position because they were all of a sudden they were the butlers, the footmen, the valets. Those were typically men's jobs.
Yep. Wow. A couple things here. Going back to some other comments, Nicole says, because she had done the tour and she'd done the trolley tour. She said,
thanks, Nicole.
She says, very beautiful place inside and out, and a very cool space in the basement of the carriage house. Trolley tour was fun as well. Another question, or another comment here. Janet says, even though I live far away, I love going on all these adventures with you, Greg, and quests shared. She's from Nova Scotia.
All right. So the deal is, this is a bed and breakfast. So it doesn't matter how far away you are.
That's right.
You can come here, stay at the bed and breakfast, go on a trolley tour, make it a vacation.
Absolutely.
There's been people who have come on from all over the country. This country could be from Canada too, but from all over from this country. Lots of people from Canada, but closer than Nova Scotia, that have come here and gone on the tours. And Nicole, thanks a lot for supporting the tours. That's super nice of you to say. Appreciate that a lot.
Yeah, very much so. I'm trying to think what's the best way to go here. Why don't we stay with the house stuff here for a second? And once again, real fast, if you are coming into the show late, we are doing an event here on September 30th. And it's going to allow you access to parts of this house that other people don't get to investigate. We'll show, if you don't know how to use any of the equipment or anything, we'll do a light sort of tutorial on it as well. Not only is it cool to be in the house, but they're gonna start up the trolley. We're going to get on the trolley. We're going to do a little bit of a tour, and we're going to stop at one of the locations that they never stop at, and we're going to do an investigation there.
Yeah. Listen to your GhostBox Radio 101 training, because we're going to get dumped off at a location, go down into the basement of this cursed building, and do the very first ever paranormal investigation at this building.
I absolutely. This is going to be amazing once again. And thank you, Adam, for putting the link into the comments. For those listening, go to 300clifton.com.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
And there'll be you'll be able to see where you can access and see the tickets and whatnot, and pick up tickets. Right.
Yep.
So
you can order tickets tonight, because there's only 26 spots. So when they're gone, they're gone. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
And we got Shar on, and Shar is going to be doing the event with us. She is going to be helping out and doing the Paranormal 101 with us. So Shar, I didn't tell you, it's Monday, September 30th. No, we talked about it. but briefly. Yeah, this is going to be pretty amazing. I love the people in our comments. Austin came on. He says, I came late. What's the history of the house, or should I rewatch later? Yeah, Austin, we're not going to restart the show for you. So
we've scratched the surface, but there's a lot more that we could talk about. We'll hit it as we go through.
Now, I do want to say, as we're still talking about the house here, people who listen to the show, they're hearing your commercials, the Minneapolis Trolley Tour commercials. Right. We talk about Gertrude. Can you talk about Gertrude a little bit for us?
Sure. Norman knows Gertrude inside and out. Norman can tell the story behind Gertrude, and maybe I can tell a couple of the experiences that people had with Gertrude.
So Gertrude was the lady's maid for Marette Carpenter.
Got it.
And she traveled with her a couple times overseas, and they picked out a set of china that they ended up bringing back, and she kept it in the butler's pantry off of the dining room. And every single night, it was Gertrude's job to help clear the table and make sure the china got cleared off and dried and washed and put away properly, because Marette was very strict on how she liked her things done. Mm-hmm. And she kept everything in line for her. Gertrude did. And at some point, and I'm not sure the exact year, but after 1906, maybe like
it was 1919.
1919, there was a smoke fire in the back of the kitchen, and they were taking out, they were getting everybody out of the house, making sure everybody was okay. And Gertrude was outside, and she was safe and accounted for. And then Gertrude knew that Marette liked that china set, which was all hand painted and had a ton of important ladies on it. So Gertrude went in the back, went in the pantry, and started taking pieces out to save them. And she went in and then never came back out. But right under the kitchen is a laundry room. And back then, all of the water that was collected off the gutters and throughout the gardens went into a cistern under the house. And so at some point, she went down there to get away from the smoke and fire upstairs and drowned. And they found her the next day.
That's too bad. But And that's an area that, not to sound morbid, that we're going to be able to see.
Yeah, we're going to see that
and investigate that area. Yeah. And Gertrude sounds very sweet,
So in death, like in life, she was a happy haunt, and she was super concerned about the house back in the day. I mean, to put her life on the line, to go back into a flaming house, to be able to try and save the china. And this house has been able to dodge the wrecking ball 3 different times. And we always thank Gertrude for it. Whenever we have encounters with Gertrude, we feel like Gertrude has somehow intervened through different mechanisms to be able to save this house. But guests will come down in the morning. Now, mind you, most bed and breakfast guests don't know that the history behind this house has paranormal activity in it. Most of them are booking a bed and breakfast room because it's a beautiful old mansion. So they'll come down in the morning and they'll say to me, so do you ever have any experiences at this house? And I know I'm going to get a great story. So I just sit down, I hunker down, and I hear. And so most people see Gertrude as a little girl.
Okay.
And the reason why is because women were so much smaller, and she was only 17 when she passed away. So she was a little woman. I mean, she looks like a little girl. And people see that little girl in different spots around the house. One lady came down and said, so I was in my room last night and I was woken because somebody was tugging on my hair. I looked over and I saw a little girl there. I woke up really quickly, as you can imagine. That startled me out of my sleep. I spun, and as I was spinning, she just disappeared behind me. I laid in bed, not knowing what to do, what to think. I know for sure I felt this tugging on my hair. I know for sure I saw this little girl next to the side of my bed. And needless to say, she couldn't go back to sleep. And so she just got up and she went to the bathroom. When she came back from the bathroom, there was a little handprint on her pillow. Wow. She took a picture of that handprint on her pillow and gave it to me. Like when she came down that morning, she says, I didn't lay back down in the bed. I just sat up and read for the rest of the night. And I don't understand how she didn't go home. Like I would have checked out. I was like, that's really, really intense.
I was just touched.
Yeah.
I was just touched right here.
That's awesome. That was Gertrude saying hi.
Well, and we have a lot of people in the comments talking about the lights flickering and stuff, and it's been flickering when we talk about Eugene. It's really flickered. Yeah. So it's been going on all night since we started.
Yeah, it started when we started talking about the people of the house.
Absolutely. We're going to be heading off the break here in a second, but Jenny has a question. If we buy a VIP, does it include the ghost hunt and tour, or do we need to buy those tickets separately?
That does. Yep, that's all included. And so then you get to meet and greet after that.
That's right. Well, I don't need to meet Jenny. I know her. So with that being said, we got some questions about the tours and stuff. But what I want to do is, why don't we get to our next break? When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about the house. We're going to talk about the trolley tours as well, because there's some questions in the comments about that as well. And if you have any more questions, put them in. Let's ask Jon and Norman. We got them right here.
Yeah, thanks for your questions.
Yeah, very much so. You're listening to GhostBox Radio on AM 950. Twin Cities Con returns to the Minneapolis Convention Center for their 4th year, November 8th through 10th. Twin Cities Con is a celebration of comics, toys, TV, film, art, cosplay, games, and all things nerdy. It's also a family-friendly event where you can meet your favorite celebrities, browse the vendor hall and artist alley for the coolest merch, watch celebrity Q&A, and even more. Twin Cities Con is bigger and better than ever before, with guests like Anakin Skywalker himself, Hayden Christensen, Stephanie Beatrice from Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Encanto, WWE Hall of Fame wrestler Sting, and Lou Diamond Phillips. Plus, your favorite voice actors. 3 days of action-packed fun in the heart of Minneapolis at the Minneapolis Convention Center. Tickets start at $25. Kids tickets are just $8 for the entire weekend. VIP tickets also available, including some really cool VIP perks. Don't wait to get your tickets, because early bird pricing is for a limited time. Buy your tickets and get more information at TwinCitiesCon.com. What you wear is important. It should be fun, creative, and expressive of your own personality. At Grady Gear Company, we believe that clothing is more than just fabric and threads. It's a form of self-expression and a way to stand out with the crowd. Grady Gear is more than just a clothing brand. We're a community. We're here to inspire and motivate you to embrace your true self. We are a locally owned small business who do custom clothing orders too. Find us at GradyGearCompany.com. Are you one of thousands of individuals who know you have psychic abilities but don't know how to tap into your higher self? Refined Divine is an extremely gifted psychic medium who offers classes that can help you reach your goals. Refined Divine holds classes Monday and Thursday at her 2 locations and via Zoom. Classes consist of manifestation, learning psychic abilities, shadow work, and healing trauma. Refined Divine has helped thousands, and she can help you.
This is Psychic Medium Deb. You can go to refineddivinepsychic.com.
And join us tomorrow. We have Myth or Mystery is going to be on. It's our weekly paranormal panel show that you can find right here on GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun on Facebook. We're going to be talking about trucker hauntings, which I think is going to be really. I saw some of the videos for it. It's going to be great. It's a great show to join us to talk about different clips that we're going to be showing during the program. People get to vote whether or not it's paranormal or not, and we just have a fun time. So yeah, you gotta check it out. It's tomorrow 9 p.m. on GhostBox Radio with Greg Bakun on Facebook. And then for our radio show tomorrow, we're going to replay our episode, the second part of our interview with Angela Bowley. You might remember last week we played an episode where she was talking about tracking down a past life. Frank is the name of her past life, who actually served in the army during World War II and infiltrated into Nazi Germany. It is such an incredible story, and she is so passionate about it that you definitely want to check it out. It's been replayed, but you got to check it out. Now, once again, we are live at the 300 Clifton Mansion in downtown Minneapolis. It's a bed and breakfast. It's also the home base to the Minneapolis Trolley Tours, where they do not only candlelight ghost tours with the trolley, but you also do some true crime.
Yeah, we do a true crime tour. We do a narrated scenic tour. We do a Gilded Age mansion tour. But I know that you guys are mostly interested in the paranormal, and the Candlelight Ghost Tour is unlike any ghost tour. We've been at ghost tours all around the country, and it's unlike any other ghost tour.
Yeah.
First of all, Norman has done an incredible amount of research digging into ghost stories that you haven't heard about. And so this is not going to be just Cuzzy's Bar kind of stuff. These are really deep dives into old newspapers to find out what people were believing 100 years ago and what people are experiencing back then. And then some of those that have persisted until today, with people still having that paranormal. And because you're in a trolley, the scope is tremendous. So you're going to 10 different haunted locations around, pausing at those locations, sometimes getting out at them. And on the 30th, we're going to do an investigation in one of them.
I can't wait. And what I also like about the tour too is that you have a screen that will also corroborate through stuff that you found historically that talks about the same stuff that you're talking about.
Yep. And actually, Greg had an idea, and I want to supplement it, because now, since we've been doing the tours, we've been starting to get pictures and short video clips of paranormal activity that we've seen at those locations. And so now we're going to start integrating those into it. But originally, it was exactly what Greg just said. They were articles that Norman has found in old newspapers that they give the backstory about where this paranormal activity came from.
Absolutely. And I think that is, like you said, which makes it very different than, I've been on a lot of ghost tours around the country, and they're very good. But what you're all doing is not like hearsay. There's a lot of hearsay at a lot of those tours, which is fine, but you are giving us facts, and you're taking us to places where history has happened.
Yeah. We want to know that there have been recorded, whether it's like in a newspaper or in a book, or sometimes it's in a court reporting, that there's been recorded information that says that this is something that people have experienced. But then when we're done with the trolley tours, you have the opportunity to come through this mansion and go through the entire mansion, like every room downstairs here, go back through secret passageways, down dark secret corridors, to be able to see how this house ran and to be able to hear all of the ghost stories. I mean, there's been so many fatalities in this house. The original owners were murdered, and then there's been 5 funerals at this house, and you get to really just be immersed in the just that cold feeling of this house.
Absolutely. Carrie in the comments says the area behind you guys to the right, which I think would that be your side then? Is someone in that room, because there was definitely something moving.
No,
wasn't.
There's nobody in that room.
No. And it's funny that you both did that testing beforehand.
We were worried about that door, because that's a dark doorway there. We were seeing how far somebody would have to come through that door before they photobombed us on the show. But no, there's been nobody down here with us.
No, because it being an active bed and breakfast, there are people staying here.
Yep.
And they're not staying here for paranormal. Well, they're staying because it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so Jenny Davis got her tickets. Thank you very much. Let's see here. Cynthia says the trolley tour sounds fun. If you don't mind me saying so, it's a blast, first of all. And what I love about it, it doesn't matter what the weather is like, because the trolley is set up for all seasons.
Yep, we run it all winter long, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, no, it's great. I don't remember this. You all mentioned a curse, and you definitely mentioned the deaths.
So I mentioned a curse, and that's the building that we're going to be going to.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And in our paranormal investigation, they say that it's the most cursed building downtown.
Yeah. And there we go. We're going to be at it on September 30th.
Down in the basement where nobody else wants to go.
No, except us.
Yeah. And we're excited about it.
And hopefully 26 other people.
Yeah. Exactly. It's going to be so much fun. And once again, folks, we're excited because we just finally kind of decided how we're going to lay it all out. Yeah. And it's we'll go over to 300clifton.com. Get your tickets there. I'm going to be talking about this very often and it is a limited run of tickets.
That's it. It's one trolley run.
Yep. And if this goes well, do you think there might be more?
Well,
we have some kind of situation.
I don't know about on the trolley, but I know that on Halloween we're going to have a real shindig here. That's going to be incredible. That's going to be a follow up to that, and we're going to do that live broadcast, and it's going to be some people who are participating in that are going to be part of that live broadcast too.
Absolutely.
So I think that's going to be an incredible opportunity.
It is. And like Shar is going to be on there. Shar helped us last year when we did the broadcast, and to be able to, there's something that you don't ever get on radio where we actually do a paranormal investigation on the radio at a really active location like this. You just don't know what's going to happen. And who knows, Adam, who knows if we can send Eugene over to say hello to you at the station that night.
He's kind of a homebody.
Sometimes he may not want to leave.
Sometimes when you talk to Eugene, then that's when he'll flash those lights a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's really.
He's not happy about leaving though. He did not flash the lights when you told him you wanted to go.
No, he's just like, no, don't tell me where to go.
Yeah, I'm hanging out here.
Yeah, I'm hanging out here. How many stops are on the trolley tour?
So I think there's 10 different haunted locations that we see. Yeah.
Gosh.
We cover a few bonus stories, but
yeah, as we're traveling between locations, there's a couple of other stories that go in there.
Yep. And part of for me, part of the awe was also at that night that we took the tour, watching your driver be able to run the course of the roads around here that are really narrow. It literally, like, every car was out on the road that night, I swear, and blocking our way.
Yeah, they for sure set up a slalom course for us. Well, we're going on Friday and Saturday night. So if you're cruising down Hennepin on Friday or Saturday night, you're expecting to see a lot of fun.
There's a lot of great stories on that tour that I never new.
Yeah.
And I think, and I think that's why this tour, you have the paranormal side of it, the ghost story side, but you also have the historic side to it, because you're talking about people who were leaders in our community in some cases.
Yep, the Pillsburys, we hit 2 of their houses.
Yeah.
We do 3 haunted mansions, and 2 of them were affiliated with the Pillsburys.
Absolutely. And we're not going to get into the stories, but one of the stories I had no idea about, and I was like, God, okay, this is cool. I love learning new things about our city.
I'm sure a lot of your listeners, when they go to a city, they're going to go on a ghost tour in that city, and you're not only hearing the paranormal, but you're also learning about the city. You're learning historical facts about the city, and even if the isn't specifically historical, you're learning about those times, whether it's sea voyages or coming down the Mississippi River, or you're learning about the architecture of that city and how it ran.
Yeah, no, this is, and once again, obviously we want you all to come out to our September 30th event, but come out to the other things that you're offering, because and are you still doing the wine tour? Would you hear something?
Didn't you?
I did, yeah.
I heard my voice, and that's a lot.
No,
it came from the fireplace.
It was a whooshing sound behind us.
Whooshing sound. Anyone out there hear it? If you heard it, let me know. We'd love to know. Ooh. So this place is haunted. In case people didn't know, it's so funny. We're in one room, and we've had a lot of stuff happen to us tonight.
Yeah, just in this
one room. Once again, we're doing an event September 30th here at the 300 Clifton Mansion, where we are investigating parts of this beautiful house that no one else gets the opportunity to investigate. We're doing a special trolley tour that is going to drop us off at one of the stops. Normally just stop and tell a story about this place, but we're going to be going inside, going down to where it's most haunted, and not Shar and myself, you all who have the tickets are going to be doing the investigation.
Cool.
This isn't about us and you watch us. It's about you going. We're going to give you some pointers beforehand. We're going to hopefully share out some equipment if we can, but it's all about you. Because we want people to come in here who have not had this opportunity to experience a real fun night, because we're going to places too. This place might be haunted, but it's good haunted. You hearing it again? That's a car.
I'm hearing it right now.
I heard it.
So we're hearing more stuff. So that's why we're stopping.
Sorry.
That's what we do as investigators. As everyone knows who listen, you hear something, and John did exactly like, wait, what's happening? Or you just wanted me to stop talking?
No, I wanted you to hear it this time. I wanted the mic to be able to pick it up.
Oh my gosh. So if we're getting this in one room,
I know.
And we don't even have any equipment or anything, I think it's going to be a pretty good night.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Gosh. And then we're going to be doing on October 30th, as we had talked about, we're going to have, for those who are going to watch, and we're going to hopefully have tickets. We are going to have tickets available on October 30th, but we're going to talk more about that when we get closer. Worry about September 30th more so.
Wow.
We'll have cameras though throughout wherever we can, and doing a live investigation too. So, I don't know. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it.
Looking forward to it.
And I will just, if we've got a couple of seconds, we also have a really cool true crimes tour too.
Yes.
So the true crimes tour is a lot of people who vibe on paranormal stuff love the true crimes tour, because on that true crimes tour, what you get to do is you get to vote on whether you think the people are guilty or innocent. You get to participate. You're the jury.
I love it. And I've been meaning to take that one.
It's so good. It's mind blowing. Like, you will say they need to write a book on this crime. We hit a lot of crimes on the front end, but the final one that you're really trying to solve, and there's only ever been one trolley tour that has solved it.
Really?
Only one has ever solved it. It is so convoluted. It's so mind blowing. It's incredible.
You guys, you got to do it. You got to come on out. So once again, the event is at 300clifton.com. But to get your tickets for the trolley tour, MinneapolisTrolleyTours.com.
Yep.
So make sure you folks, and I mean, I don't think I have to persuade too many people, but it's always about also supporting wonderful events and companies and people like Norman and Jon in our community, because this is pretty special. This is a special house, and you both feel it too. I mean, obviously, for all the work that you put into this, this house must mean so much to all of you.
We feel like it's a gift to Minneapolis, but then also a gift to all of the ancestors that have lived here.
I think that.
Oh, did you just see it blink right when I said that?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah. No, this place. I think you are all in sync here.
Oh,
you
wow.
and the previous owners. I think you're all in sync here. And we're running out of time here. So as you can see, first of all, this is once again just one room. This backdrop is just one room of many beautiful rooms. We have our event September 30th. Go to 300clifton.com. Check out the tickets. Reach out to myself if you have any questions. Reach out to Jon and Norman. But I'm so happy for you both having this fantastic place. This is really something. Tomorrow, don't forget Myth or Mystery. Tomorrow night is a replay with Angela Boley. Unfortunately, no Casual Friday this week as I'm off on an investigation. But we're going to be replaying an episode about superstitions. It is Friday the 13th after all. Everyone, thank you. Jon, Norman, thank you so very much.
Look forward to seeing everybody on the 30th.
Absolutely. 300clifton.com. We'll be back live Monday. Everyone, have a fantastic night.
It's Brad Friedman, your friendly investigator.